Hey guys, hashtag Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you're going through something and you need them out there today. Guys, I think that Raid is in a pretty good spot, relatively speaking. Now, I'm digging the game. I obviously play a lot. You gotta play this damn game a lot, right? But that doesn't mean that the game is perfect. Frankly, far from it. And I think this game has a variety of issues that I would love to have addressed here this year, ideally, on a lot of them, right? So I wanted to take a moment out to give, as I see them, the top 10 worst problems right now in Raid. Some of them plague every game that's been around as long as Raid Shadow Legends has. I saw that Fastidious did a video like this for Watcher of Realms, so it gave me a little inspiration to make one here about Raid. So without further ado, let's get into the problems, right? In no particular order. It's not like the worst problem is first or last or whatever on the list. But obviously, this is always a problem in a game. Look at this area. This one little area of the game. It's just like, there's not even everything you have to do every day or every week in some cases, but there's a lot of stuff here that you have to do in this game because time is always an issue in a game that, frankly, they've added so much to over the years. I mean, look at this. There's so much to do, right? So they have done a good job at adding extra super raids in a lot of different areas in the game. They have quick battle and Hydra clan boss. Would love to see that this year. I think we are going to get it this year for Chimera as well. So they are moving in the right direction, but my biggest fix to the time issue, I mean, are you guys like me? You know, hardcore players out there watching right now. You know, the first thing I do, like on my drive to work or the gym in the morning, is I start farming Grim Forest, right? And then I start farming Curse City. And then I make sure I'm not forgetting my siege prep and my clan boss keys. And then I do my Doom Tower. And then I think about maybe Iron Twins. And then I do my tag team arena. And then I do my faction wars. I haven't even actually played the game, built champions, all the fun stuff yet. I'm just doing my chores all day, every day. So they got to keep making strides in this direction for the time stuff. I think that background battles, once they add it everywhere, will be a big help in that regard. That way I can try to make progress in faction wars, for example, while I'm also farming in the background. But that's not enough. My biggest thing personally that I would like to see is Doom Tower in Curse City and maybe even Grim Forest on normal. If you're able to clear normal mode every month, you unlock an instant battle. Other games have this on some of their game modes. When a game mode has two difficulties, hard and normal, if you're able to clear normal, I think you should be able to instant clear it every single month. I know that's a big ask, but I think it would be so helpful on normal modes, you know? That's something that I would love to see along with Chimera quick battles. You know, in them to their credit, you know, even the tag team stuff, it's not perfect, but I really like the quick battles, but they need to expand it to all tiers of tag team as well. All right, next thing. Another thing that I've been chirping about a lot here on the channel for like almost a year now, but I still think it's a major issue, especially for veterans of this game, and that is, you got to give more options to customize. You got to remove these gem costs on the blessings and on the masteries, okay? It costs you so much just to customize your champions for PvP or for PvE. Or there's some champions that you want to have a build for support, but also a build for a nuker, right? I mean, not to pick a mythical, but I was just thinking this on Garrel, right? I would love to have a build that's a damage Garrel, but also a support Garrel, right? But I have to go in here and I have to pay to change my blessing 200 freaking gems. And again, another 150 every time I want to reset my masteries. That's an archaic system. It has not aged well. Back in the day, there was no need to switch your masteries all the time. Now there is once you're in the end game, especially with the emphasis on live arena and stuff like that in the game. So they got to remove those gem costs, honestly, or at least allow two different builds so we don't have to keep moving things around incessantly, right? And while we're at it, the relic move cost on Starstones, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Let me just equip it. 320? I feel like that's a bargain. That's ridiculous, man. That's how much it costs to upgrade the damn thing, just to move the damn thing. All right, so more customization, removal of pain points on champion customization is number 2. Number 3 is a quick one. A community tab poll. I just asked you guys a week or two ago, how many mythical relics do you guys have? And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was a little surprised that the vast majority, like 70% or something like that, had none. None. I think they need to add a relic mercy system for mythicals, honestly. What about you guys? Would you be bitter if, they added that right now? I think they should add it. I think it should be added because it's pretty freaking ridiculous that, you could just have bad RNG and never get your hand on some of the most powerful things in the entire game. That's lousy. That's really lousy. So they need to add a Relic Mercy, in my opinion. And in addition to Mercy, guys, let's talk about the Star Stone and the Relic economy. It is really, really bad, and it ties into, in my opinion, Chimera rewards are still incredibly lackluster in the game. They did a good job going in there and fixing, at least in my eyes, the major problems with the silver economy once they added the free gear removal. But to me, they need to go in there and take a long, hard look at Chimera Clash. Really, the only thing worth doing nowadays in Chimera is the trials. And especially endgame players, they're just going Ultra Nightmare, and they don't even worry about the chests because the chests are so lackluster. There needs to be more Star Stones. Honestly, I guess we'll just make this the economy because it's not just relics. Frankly, it's also the Soul Stone economy, the Immortal Soul Stones, the Mortal Soul Stones, the Eternal Soul Stones, and how much we get from Iron Twins farming, guys. Right now, there's still economic issues plaguing the majority of the player base. Not yours truly because, well, I'm a big spender in the game, right? I'm not aloof to that fact, but everybody else, and even spenders, I mean, it's just way out of whack in terms of the availability in the Altar of Souls as well as our relics, right now, and it's really hurting the overall player base. We just need better rewards. We need better ways to get souls on our champions. I love the introduction of the souls after fusions and stuff like that, but I think they need to address the underlying issue, which is the economy in general as well. Right now, it's a bit too much of a pain point for your average player out there. All right, number 4. This is a big one, and I've been complaining about this one since 2019. How can we have a game that literally has one of the most crucial things to upgrade a champion in the entire game, that they're unavailable to players to farm, right? Listen, I know it's ridiculous. We've been asking this for years and years and years and years and years, but it's skill tomes. It's not that hard to add a damn dungeon where we can farm pages slowly but surely. I know the player base would appreciate it in a massive, massive way. It's crazy that still to this day, a core fundamental part about upgrading champions, skill tomes, they're not scarce, they're just not farmable. It's totally RNG. This is a core key component to getting the most out of a champions that are already so incredibly hard and difficult to get to begin with, right? So I think that skill tomes, it's time. It's 2026. It's time to innovate, Raid Shadow Legends. There ought to be a way to reliably farm, even if it's slow. There ought to be a way to farm up skill tomes. It's an essential part of upgrading a champion, right? How are you going to make it so they're unavailable in this game? Except for RNG, and I get that they're available in shops and stuff like that, but they're very, very limited and finite, right? So I understand the scarcity, but I don't understand the fact that you can't get them. There's no vehicle to get the most fundamental part in upgrading champions. It's time for a way to farm skill tomes. Next one is bringing back more guaranteed events. Now, guaranteed events, whenever I mention this, people get kind of, man, like, this is not what we need, Ash, like, whatever. But I think they used to do it a lot. They never do it anymore, right? I think they should make it for when they have these banner champions. What I mean is these restrictive champions that are only available through one event, like Bayak, for example, right? Assassin's Creed champions. When they introduce them on shard events, what are these events good for? If it's all RNG, and I know that's the name of the game, but like, shouldn't there be some mechanism to actually get these champions and take advantage of the turtle passives or the assassin passives together? Like, to me, even if it's a high cost, like they did 90 or 100 void shards, but you're guaranteed a legendary, whatever it was back in the day, I mean, to me, most games have that, right? Most games you play, you pull 80 and you get a guarantee. You finally get the legendary. It doesn't need to be on every event, but I think it should be on these special events. I think you should actually have a vehicle or some way to get the champion, Especially 100 shards is so expensive, And I know, that doesn't even apply to every player that are going to have that many shards. But for me, for these events to be really compelling, I'll just end with this. Every video I put out about a brand new cool champion, you know, inevitably the top comments on my comment section are, great, another champion I'll never get. That shouldn't be the way. That's not how you want to market an event, you know? And the player base is feeling it. Next one, new epics and rares that aren't just a fusion champion, right? They don't really release any epics and rares anymore in the game. I have more to say on this one in a moment here, but I feel like we're getting very, very, very top heavy in this game, right? A lot of void legendaries are being added to the game. To be fair, some non-void legendaries too. And a lot of mythicals are being added to the game, which you would expect, obviously. This is how these games work. But at the same time, they're not backfilling anything. They add a few epics a year and a couple rares a year, usually with a fusion, basically as a component to the fusion, never really serving tremendous utility. There are a few exceptions on epics, not really on rares, maybe Glade Wolf, you know, but if I can name one or maybe two rares in the last 2 years, to me, that's pretty underwhelming. And it's a bummer because there is plenty of content to use, restrictive content, namely in the game, where we can use epics and rare champions. I think they ought to lean more into that by obviously giving more areas of the game, like live arena, where you use epics and rares. Like, I know I mentioned that and people think I'm crazy, but I think it'd be a hell of a lot of fun, you know, alongside regular live arena. It wouldn't be replacing it. Give us more reasons to use epics and rares, and for the love of God, give us some more epics and rares. The game doesn't need to be this top heavy right now, in my opinion. The next one pertains to new players, because I care. Even though I'm not a new player myself, I care about new players, because new players, selfishly, are also prospective future viewers here on the channel, right? So I do want people to play the game. I want people to enjoy the game while I'm making a video like this, you know? Anyway, the new player experience. I think going back to all the things in this game, talk about it. If this game was confusing when I started it in 2019, I can't imagine starting this game now. It must take you 2 years to learn this game. I mean, thousands of champions with hundreds of buffs and debuffs, you know, combined, and new ones all the time. And then, you know, you got your forge, you got relics, you've got artifacts, you've got crafting, you've got doom towers, you've got faction wars, you've got glyphs, you've got clan bosses, you've got, sieges and PvP and live arena and tag team and faction wars, and just, there's so much. And when you go back and look at the new player tutorial, if you try to erase what you already know about Raid, I mean, the tutorial is old AF. It gives you how to upgrade an artifact, and it sends you on the Arbiter missions, and that's it. If you're not watching YouTube, if you're not looking up strategy guides, Reddit, using Hellhades' website, Ayumi Love, then I can't imagine. No wonder the new player churn in a game like this is very high. It's not just the monetization. They need a more robust tutorial that it isn't like boring tutorial, but guides players better. Long-term goal planning, helping them beyond just the first 10 minutes of the game, you know? Arbiter missions are nice, but I would love to revisit the early player experience. I think that's crucial in terms of bringing in new players long-term. They need a whole new progression path system for new players, in my opinion. Number 9, it's kind of along the same lines as top heaviness of the game, but it's about power creep. Now, power creep in a game like this is obviously inevitable, right? All the newer champions are generally way better than the old champions, right? And that's going to happen. They need new champs to be stronger to sell them to the player base. We all know how this works. Old champions slowly become obsolete, and that's kind of it. They only buff 2 champions a month. I don't think they need to be dramatic and bring back 10 buffs a month like they used to back in the day. But I think 3 or maybe 4 buffs a month would help catch up all those old champions that we all inevitably are going to have in our vaults. Also, I know they went on the record last year and they said they are not going to buff epics anymore at all. I wish they would revisit that decision, because honestly, there's a lot of very cool epic designs in this game, and you know, they're kind of getting, a lot of them, except for the best of the best, they're kind of getting pushed by the wayside every month, every year that goes on in Raid Shadow Legends. So I think that power creep is warping the game, but it's not just the new champions. It's also weird things like this block debuff thing, right? I feel like every champion that is released lately has an ability that ignores block debuffs. And I understand, like, I get it. I'm not like angry about it. but you just see it all over the place now. So much so that block debuffs almost has no meaning in this game, right? So this is very challenging, right? Games like this that are almost 8 years old, like how do you mitigate power creep or power warping, I will say, in terms of warping the experience and making 90% of the champions, just average or below, It can be very difficult. I think they need to revisit the buffing system, the balancing system, and I also think, going on to one of my earlier points, I do think they need to add compelling ways for us to use some of these champions that aren't the newest champions in the game. The last, but absolutely not least, the 10th, is better rewards. Honestly, they absolutely nailed the buff of rewards in Curse City. I love what they did with the Curse City rewards, all the basalt, and honestly, just really good job there. However, this game, for a gacha game, for honestly the granddaddy of gacha games, it's lacking some of the low-hanging fruit, Watcher of Realms, actually almost every other gacha game I play, they have a system where for every 10 shards you pull, you get a shard back, I know it's kind of semantics, and you can even argue this is predatory as well, encouraging players to pull more. But honestly, it's nice to feel psychologically like you're getting something back when you give so much in, right? So again, Watcher of Realms, you just get free summons along the way for all the summons that you do, I think it'd be really cool to add something like that to Raid Shadow Legends, right? Moreover, using energy, right? Let's face it, dungeons, this could have been a problem in Raid all in its own right. But dungeons in this game, there's only a few good gear sets, No, don't let anybody tell you there's no good gear sets. There are some good gear sets, stun and savage and speed. And, there's a few decent ones left in dungeons. But in dungeons, how do we fix dungeons? There's a lot of ways, but I like the low-hanging fruit. I like building in a robust reward system about dungeons. We could have a little tracker for energy spent at the bottom, and we could claim our rewards as we claim our daily login rewards. So meaning, as you spend energy, you get a little kickback. Maybe you get free energy refills. Maybe you get guaranteed 6-star pieces through a little chest. You know how Live Arena, when I play Live Arena, I get a little chest sometimes, right? I get my chest. Live Arena, I think, is great reward system, but they should apply this to other areas of the game, right? Where we're getting chests and we're getting awesome rewards, right? They could add something like this to dungeons per energy spent. They could give us some rewards. They don't have to be legendary skill tomes or mythical skill tomes or primal shards or whatever. It'd be nice, but they don't have to be. It could be something as simple as a guaranteed 6-star piece of gear, That way, right now it's so underwhelming that we need a little bit more. It could be forged material that we get as a bonus while we're farming in the dungeons, right? There's so many different ideas, just higher rank artifacts, chaos ores or whatever the heck, right? There's so many ideas they could add, but honestly, it'd be a lot less arduous to farm our dungeons if we just had a little bit more incentivization. This game is lacking all the little things on the rewards, right? In a genre that should be optimized for dopamine spikes, give us a little bit more of that dopamine, Blarium. Those are 9. Now you get a bonus 10th, baby. The artifact storage system, right? They need to overhaul, U-Haul, everything here. I mean, honestly, it's dated. It's dated, right? Management is a nightmare. I want better auto sale rules to apply everywhere. And maybe even auto upgrades, right? I want to auto upgrade every 6-star legendary artifact to level 4. Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe just waste silver that way. But there needs to be more rules that we can set as players everywhere in the game to help manage our gear. Moreover, when it comes down to actually managing our gear in the gear management system, especially the accessories, they still haven't nailed it. Well, let's be real. They're far, far, far away from nailing it. It is a nightmare to find the type of gear that you want. And man, veteran players have thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces. We need better upgrade rules. We need better gear tagging systems added to the game as well. And for the love of God, we gotta fix the accessories. A popular request in the comments has been change accessories to be instead of factions, league-based or pact-based, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So anybody from the Night Wrestling Union can use any of these accessories. Anybody from Corrupted can use Corrupted accessories. So much better for management and alleviate a huge pain point for the player base as well. That is my top 10 list. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys. I would love to see them, and maybe you guys are used to it, maybe you don't care anymore. Let me know if you don't. But come on. Oh, I didn't have a 10 open. My bad. I would love to see them change and revert the change to the shards, right? I'm not going to open 10 voids just to show you. Mysteries. There we go. Here we go. We can do mystery shards. I forgot they even existed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Well, they don't even do it to the mystery shards. Look it. They put the name. Wait, did they change this overall and I missed it? I got to check. Now I am going to get some ancient shards here. I hate to use my gems on ancient shards, but now I got to test in real time here. Did they just change it? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where they show the name before the champion? They changed it. They changed it. Like literally the day of this recording. I'm actually taking my son to Disneyland. So I'm traveling right now in real time. But on the day of this recording, they must have changed it in the last update. That's insane.